What's going on, y'all? It's your man, Mike Deloach, coming back to you with some more content of a black man in New Mexico. And today, as we mentioned before, we were going to bring y'all some content about Don't Take It From Me. And we was going to get somebody else's perspective. So today, we got one of the reasons why I'm out here, my man, Chad Smith, or how do you want to... How you want to
Chad,
you know what I'm saying? Let him know.
You know what I'm saying? Top 5 fat guy dead or alive, all that stuff, man.
There you go. So
Yes, sir.
today, like I said, we got him. He was able to come and sit down with us, and he gonna give us his perspective. So without further ado, starting off, just tell us a little bit about yourself, right?
Right now, man, just I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia. Small town. Ain't really shit popping. You know what I'm saying? Decided to take the leap of faith and come out here with our friend Keith. And, initially it was a struggle, finding your way out here in a new place. But eventually we all found our way and all found a way to be successful in a way. Right now I'm working in the film industry. Local Teamster member, 492, working as a dispatcher and doing my office thing and being an entrepreneur on the side. Love music, love entertainment, love just life in general. Just trying to make it as a black man out here. It can be tough.
So you talk about Keith, like, is that what got you out here? Did Keith get you out here?
Yeah.
How did you end up out here? Kind of tell us that story.
Yeah, you got time? Yeah, I'll tell you the exact moment that I decided to move out here. I graduated high school. I was always a little out there. I was trapping a little bit. Mama had a little issues, you know what I'm saying? So trapping helped pay the bills, you know what I'm saying? I already had a full-time job working at Zaxby's and it just wasn't enough, Seeing bills come around, you want to go to the prom, we want to go to the beach, so I decided to go get some money. We all graduated, you left, you were the first person to take the leap to leave Matter. Then Justin left, he went to the Air Force. TC left, did the same thing. Karanja did the same thing. Yeah. And then after a while, I was stuck there with associates, people that I knew and I loved, but I'm like, this ain't the place for me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then I was working at KFC/Taco Bell, man. I hated that shit. Hated it. You know what I'm saying? I used to call you, tell you about that shit, like, man. There's this one manager, man, I don't know why she hated me, but she was on my ass. But anyway, can I cuss?
Yeah, that's fine. We ain't gonna make it for the kids.
So, there's one night. I had got to the point where I was hanging out with my cousins a lot, and they was in Club 46 every weekend.
Shout out to 46.
Shout out to 46, man. Across town, man. I used to stay right on the road from 46, man. My mom had moved to the projects when I was a junior in high school, so that kind of opened up my eyes to a little bit more what's going on in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Like, before that, I was staying out in the country. Didn't really have access to a lot of stuff, so it kept me sheltered in a way. But once my mom moved across town, right off of MLK in the projects, people, I always had this energy where people gravitated towards me. Okay. And my house became the spot, everybody chilling at the house. Yeah, back to this particular night, man, Gucci Mane come to the city. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never seen Gucci before. He one of my favorite rappers. And went to the mall, got me some J's, got me a fit. We ready. You know what I'm saying? I get off at 10 o'clock. My brother ready there. He already ready to pick me up. What's good. 9:55 hit. And that was a basketball game. The whole entire team walked in. I'm talking not team, cheerleaders, coaches, parents. Man, about 50 people walked in there, man, right before I was time to get out. Yeah. So I'm doing my closing duties. I'm washing dishes, so I'm ready to get out of there, man. The boss that I hated, she was closing that night. She said, boy, you ain't gonna help? I said, I'll be there in a minute. You know what I'm saying? Just so happened, like, I had started leaving my jacket in the dry storage. Okay. Dry storage just happened to be right beside the emergency. I swear, I looked up in the sky. I went up. I looked outside. I went back to dry storage. I grabbed my jacket. And I walked the fuck out. I was gone.
Yeah.
My brother was outside. I said, let's go, man. Let's get out of here. Dropped me all across town. Went home, got fresh. Me and my cousin went and partied. That night, we used to get the big stove coolers, man. Like, if you walk into a store and they got the ice with the Gatorade in it, you can just grab and go. You know, one of them type of coolers.
Right.
They used to roll one out to us in the club. With a big cooler, roll it out. We used to get 3 cases of beer and a bottle of hen on top. You know what I'm saying? Man, between 4s, we ran through that whole thing, man. And then I went home. I called Keith that next day. I told him what happened. I'm like, man, I quit. I'm done with that shit. He was like, man, you might as well come on out here. And we had been talking about it for a while because Keith, after he left, he would come back and visit, and he was like, he would make New Mexico sound so crazy. And especially with us being from a small town, like, man, I want to experience that.
Okay.
And then, like, he had put us on a couple of girls from out here and started talking to some girls out here, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, you know what? I told my mama, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Keith just so happened to be working at the airport at the time. And he had the plug on the buddy passes. $50 ticket. We still ain't paid buddy to this day. And it almost didn't happen. It was like, there was a point in time where like the buddy pass might not go through. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't want to go to the airport without the buddy pass for sure, because I would have to find a way back home. At the last moment, somebody called like, yeah, you good to go. You know what I'm saying? It was almost to the point where it was like, man, I'm gonna come back and get you. I'm like, man, we gotta come back. You know, you know what I'm saying? You know what it is. So having his cousin came and picked us up, took us to the airport, man, and that was my first flight. Worst flight I ever took in my life, man. Like, I get on, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, this is 2008. I get on the plane, you know what I'm saying? First thing I see, Muslim, you know what I'm saying? With the turbans and everything. Like, oh, man. First time leaving Georgia, you know what I'm saying? I'm closed-minded. I don't know what the hell going on outside of this area, you know what I'm saying? And I get on the plane, and, man, we hit some turbulence, and the plane just... For like 30 minutes, man. I grabbed the Muslim man by the shoulder. He turned around. It's gonna be alright, brother. You know what I'm saying? And then, before I know it was in New Mexico, man. We got a here and then it looked like Grand Theft Auto. The plane is snowing. You know what I'm saying? February.
Which Grand Theft Auto?
San Andreas. You know what I'm saying? Initially it started snowing. You know what I'm saying? It's February. Drive away from the airport. Tumbleweeds blowing in the fucking road. You know what I'm saying? Then we take a ride. He's like, man, I'm going to show you around the city. So we ride up to the heights. It's all nice. You got the mountains, you know what I'm saying? Leaving the heights, ride down Central. It's hood as hell, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Seen street walkers for the first time, you know what I'm saying? Seen crackheads, really, like real crackheads walking the streets, you know what I'm saying? Like, then, you know what I'm saying? We stayed, and that's what we stayed initially. We stayed in the war zone. Yeah. It was like, stayed off of Central Alvarado Square. And some of the crazy shit I ever seen, man. You walking through the hallway, it smell like straight crack. You know what I'm saying? But that's just how they was in school, so it was cheap apartments for them. It's close to campus. Wow, you know what I'm saying? So we moved.
Did you say you kind of almost like force yourself to make that move by like making that decision that night to say like, I'm out? You know what
man, I had always knew that no matter what. All the time, like, man, I'm made for Hollywood, baby. I knew at some point that I was going to take that leap and I was going to get the fuck out. And that was just the first opportunity I got. And I feel like it was the most solid opportunity because I knew Keith was solid, I knew his family was solid, and I knew that they would look out for me if things didn't work out initially. And that's pretty much what I decided to do. My mama felt the same way. She wasn't as sure about the situation as I was, but she gave me her full support. So yeah, I think, like I said, I knew at some point I was leaving. And I knew I wanted to be different. Yeah. And like I was the first one to take that jump, you know what I'm saying, to go out here.
I got you, and that takes a lot of courage, you know what I'm saying, because, you know, so many times we have a lot of people that's, you know, like I say, scared to take that leap and, you know, or just accepts the fact, like, you know, this is how life is going to be and I'm going to live within, you know, like that life that I know. So first getting out of here, sitting at St. Andreas, you know what I mean? Like, so like, was it like a big cultural shock coming out here, like from that environment to this environment, you know what I'm saying, seeing something new?
Oh, hell yeah, man. The first thing you realize is how country you is. Right?
I can agree. So what was it that made you realize that you was country, you know, like?
Just the amount of times that I would talk to people and they would just like, what did you say? It was just get all, you know what I'm saying? Like after a while it got aggravating, but at first it was just like, and so you almost have to adapt, you know what I'm saying? Like you like, all right, I ain't in Georgia no more. Let me see how I can talk more where they can understand me, you know what I'm saying? I'm out here, I'm trying to get a job, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to progress, you know what I'm saying? It's like, alright, bet. So that's the first thing, just when people hear your accent right away, especially, because I'm like, now I tell people I've been domesticated back home, they're like, nigga, you ain't even from here, you know what I'm saying? You sound like you from New Mexico, you know? Oh, you talk proper now, yeah. But, yeah, so that's the first thing, and then, you got certain habits, certain foods you crave, you like, man, what the grits at? You know what I'm saying? Like cheese, eggs, and you know what I'm saying? So it's like they making enchiladas out here, man. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know what I'm saying? Like, the food. I mean, you know, culturally we're different. You know, the way we operate, the way we communicate, the way we deal with people. That's different. You know, I feel like us growing up in the environment that we grew up in, right? You know, is black and white. Me and you were probably fortunate enough to probably infiltrate the white culture a little bit, but we were all cool with white people. You know what I'm saying? Right. For the most part, when we go to prom, it's us. When we celebrate graduation, it's us. You know what I'm saying? And then coming out here, it's like, dang, they ain't a lot of us out here. Right. And if we really want to branch out, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got Keith. He got friends that I don't know what he is. What is his name? I don't know. I'm like, dang, man, she look white, but I don't think she white. That white person that's Spanish, or that person that look white is Spanish. So you like, dang, you realize there's just a whole different culture that you ain't been exposed to. And then it opens you up to like, dang, if it's like that here, what it's like in other places. That was the first part of the culture shock. Like, just experiencing the different cultures, like, being around, like, the natives or, like, really becoming cool with the Hispanics or Mexicans, you know what I'm saying? Like, first girlfriend out here was Mexican, you know what I'm saying? And going to, like, family events, and you know, if you're Mexican, you going to their grandparents' house, and they making pozole and menudo, you know what I'm saying? Like, all this stuff, they like, oh, this chilling. Hey, y'all the same, just like us, too. We just live a little different, you know what I'm saying? Like, we pretty much, at its core, we got the same family values. We just experience it in a different way. You know what I'm saying?
So with that being said, like, just kind of knowing, too, like, almost like, okay, like, she may be a certain skin tone, you never know what race she may be. Was that, like, intimidating, or did it kind of make you more, like, curious and want to, a little more inquisitive about, like, all right, like, did it give you, like, a reason or something to play on almost?
Man, it's, you see it, man, you become curious. But that's it, like, for real, man. I had that stage, man, it was like, dang, man, I don't know how to explain it in, like, outside of just being real. Like, you in a place and you just see something you ain't never seen before, and you're like, damn, I want that. Just because I ain't never seen it before. You know what I'm saying?
But it's still like beauty nonetheless.
Oh, it's gorgeous. No offense to my black queens. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I grew up around black women all my life. I was raised by black women.
Right. My
cousins black women. Like, everybody that I surrounded myself with in Georgia, beautiful black women. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I was raised. You come out here and you see that, you just like, damn, man, it sparks a different side of you when you see that and you haven't experienced it before. It makes you very curious, and it makes you, question some of the things you've been taught. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody else out here got Mexican girls, or white girls, or I don't see no black on black relationships out here. Guess I better hop on board, you know what I'm saying?
Like you mentioned too, as far as like, you know, it's kind of like you do the same thing, you know what I mean? Like y'all may just do it that way, but you know, what it all boils down to, it's like shit, we almost like one and the same.
Yeah, it's all the same. Yeah,
I got you. So being out here, like, have you ever dated any black women? Like, how was the interaction with black women here in New Mexico?
it's different than it is back home. That's for sure. Just because you're in a different place, different environment, people out here, I mean, no disrespect or anything, but like black people out here are raised differently than we're raised in the South. That's just a fact. It hasn't, like, my experience with black women out here hasn't been like the best, I would say. One, there's not a lot of them out here. You know what I'm saying? That's scarcity. Yeah, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? The one that I try to talk to is like, I don't know, like timing was off. You know what I'm saying? Like timing just didn't work out. You know what I'm saying? But I tried. I feel like I came out a better person from that experience. You know what I'm saying? Like I learned a lot. Like she taught me a lot. Honestly, about adapting to being out here and you know what I'm saying, and how the culture is and how to carry yourself and you know what I'm saying, how to treat a woman out here, that type of thing. And then, honestly, us being young and coming out here, you probably just learning that shit anyway. But after that, I haven't talked to a black girl since.
Do black girls, do they seem to date, I guess, outside of their race, or do they see black women as dating, you know, within the Mexican culture, the Latino culture, the Native culture?
Yeah, for sure. They definitely starting to do that more. To me, out here, it's not any disrespect to any culture. It's just like you just find what you into out here. It's just one of them places where you find different types of people and you might be attracted to it.
Right.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. I love my black women, you know what I'm saying, wholeheartedly. But it's just like, just because that's what I grew up around and, like, I mean, if my parents had it their way, that's how it would be. That's not how it might not be meant to be that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never know, especially out here, man. Like, I met some beautiful people out here, you know, who, from all races, creeds, backgrounds, religions, all that shit. Right. And they're my friends, and I love them. If I took them back home, people were looking like, well, why are you hanging out with them? I'm like, well, they genuine. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's the key. That's the most important part to me. Like, are you true to yourself? Are you genuine? Yeah. Do we vibe? Right. Yeah, if you got to check that out, then we good. You know what I'm saying? That's what I look for.
You know, I'm sure you've seen, you know, women that, you know, have been, you know, attracted to you. So for yourself, have you like dated across the board, or do you see yourself with like usually just a Mexican girl, or have you been with like Native girls, you know, or you know, like I said, have you been in that position where you've been able to date across the board and you've been able to see that, like I said, like women on women, pretty much, you know?
I'm trying to get me telling myself.
Not necessarily, you know, but like I said, just to know, because a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people get caught up. Like I say, in this YouTube world now, you hear people talk about the high value male. That's the term they call it. So, but the thing is, like a lot of people, like kind of get stuck. But at the same time, those high value males are still able to date across the board. You know what I'm saying? So just kind of being in this melting pot, you know, do you think it's, I guess, kind of easier to date across the board?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I'll be real. My experience has been a little different. I feel like I didn't find myself until I was like 24, 25. I never struggled from like a lack of confidence, but I wasn't fully confident in myself to really go out there and get it. You know what I'm saying? I pulled here and there, but it was like, oh, y'all had some girls to the crib, so they just happened to see my personality around y'all. You know what I'm saying? Or like, I got a group of girls, but I'm cool with them all. They just my friends. They just fuck me in my vibe. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that was more my experience at first. And to me, it was like a learning process. Like, I surrounded myself with a lot of women that, you know what I'm saying, it was just my friends. And I learned. And then I figured out a way to make it attractive. When I was 26, 27 up, like now, I'm pulling out. And then now I see... Yeah. Because of my confidence and just my life, where you, in my opinion anyway, we just reach supreme confidence, and that's how I am right now. It's like I don't care if you like me, I don't care if you know what I'm saying, I don't care if you don't.
But at first it was almost like you was that quarterback, kind of just scanning the field.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, just to see how things play out. And
it was part of my growth process. You know what I'm saying? Right. It was really like. Cause like in high school, like I said, there was a couple girls I really try to talk to or whatever. We had fun in high school, you know that. But it was like I ain't never had no girl in high school. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? I wasn't fucking like that. I had to learn how it really was in the real world. Out, you know what I'm saying? Outside of that, and then so I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm who better to learn from than women? And then I learned that women like they take care of me. That taught me how to be authentic and how to be a real friend and how to like just be genuine with your feelings, because I feel like that is my most attractive quality.
I got you.
I'm genuine. Like, what you see is what you get. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no ulterior motives. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you how it is. If I fuck with you, I fuck with you. You know that. You know what I'm saying? Now I see the benefits of being black out here, because in my opinion we're a superior race anyway. Okay. But the way we carry ourselves and the confidence that we protrude, you know what I'm saying? Women are instantly gravitating towards it anywhere we go these days. You know what I'm saying? You see it, you know what I'm saying? Anywhere we go, anywhere my friends go, they pull, you know what I'm saying? It's because I surround myself with people who are solid like me, and they just happen to have the same energy that surrounds us that is tangible, like you can feel it. And anywhere we go, like people know, you know what I'm saying, they gravitate to it. It's naturally attractive. And if we have our shit together, we can hold a conversation and we can, whatever, you know.
The world is your oyster at that point.
It is, man. You can do whatever you want to out here. I mean, it's really that easy, man. If you got a little mouthpiece and man, you got your shit together, then you're going to come out here and you're going to do what you want to do.
Now let me ask you this, being that, you being able to have that experience with, other cultures or other races, however you may, put it, do you see a difference from women's perspective? Do you see a difference in the women? Do you feel like women are women no matter what shade of color you may be, or do you feel like there was a different connection to the black woman, even being here in New Mexico, versus just another woman of a different, culture?
I'm gonna say women are women. It just depends on the woman you choose and what you're looking for. I've had women of all races hold me down.
Okay.
I got a business partner, you know what I'm saying? White girl, you know what I'm saying? Sorority chick, you know what I'm saying? Okay. We ain't got nothing in common, but she love me, you know what I'm saying? And we come together, we do business, and we make sure that everything's right, you know what I'm saying? But she rock with me on a different level, you know what I'm saying? If I get in the bind and I need something, I can call her and I know I got her, just like that. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with black women. I got a black girl where, you know what I'm saying, if all else fails, I call them, I got it. You know what I'm saying?
All right. So touching on that, let's take it to the different extremes. So, like I said, you can have that good girl in your corner. Wow. Now, the quote unquote hood chick, would you say that even in like Mexican culture or native culture or any other culture, there's still that quote unquote hood chick or hood chick mentality?
Certain cases, yeah, for sure. But I will say, just because the chick is hood doesn't mean she don't have her shit together.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. I know that case too. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Like, sometimes hood mentality can lead to a chick just being like about her shit or about her money. Mm-hmm. And you know what I'm saying? And you get into that and sometimes you pick up on them qualities too, and it might not be a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Every race has it. You know what I'm saying? Every race got that chick that's a hustler that know how to go out and get it. Right. And I probably prefer it. But it's not about the hood chick persona, like, because out here you got your cholas and it's about the mindset. Is what are you trying to accomplish by your personality? Are you just trying to thug it out? If you trying to thug it out, I probably ain't gonna fuck with you. That's not me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But if you thugging and you trying to achieve something, I can rock with that. You know what I'm saying? Because if you out here and you surviving in these streets, you out here surviving in Albuquerque and you getting money, then you smart and you intelligent and you know something. So if you rocking like that, then I can fuck with you, straight up.
Let's talk about like the job opportunities. Would you say that there's more job opportunities out here coming from where you from?
Hell yeah, absolutely. Shit, man, I tell people all the time when I left Georgia, I was making $5.35 an hour.
Mm.
I came out here, my first job, I was making $12 an hour. This is a little different.
Right.
But minimum wage in Georgia is still $5.35.
Gotcha.
I come out here, my first job, I got it in a week and a half. And I make $12 an hour. I was like, shit. You know what I mean? But out here, you know what it is? Like you got call centers.
Okay, I was just gonna say, what was your first job?
Call center, man, Convergence all day. You know what I'm saying?
What did Convergence?
It was AT&T. I was working there right around the time the first iPhone came out.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, you know what I mean? It's high school at the end of the day. You know what it is. Like, you don't stay there long unless you're built for that type of culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not. But you got manufacturers out here, Coca-Cola, you know what I'm saying, the warehouses and Walmart distribution, you know what I'm saying? You got big city jobs. In the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot of money, but coming from where we come from, like how many jobs is there? Zaxby's, McDonald's, KFC, Taco Bell, Burger King, working at Peaches, Waffle House, you know what I'm saying? That's it, man. You're not making more than $10 an hour.
If you were, you was probably at like the Viracon, Riggs and Stratton.
But you gotta have a car.
Or doing the trucking thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that plays a part. You had to have a car. Okay, I got you.
You gotta have a car to really. Unless you knew somebody that was working there on the same shift, then you might be alright. But to get the Statesboro, that's a 30-minute ride to the job.
True. That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Or like a lot of our friends got their CDLs. You know what I'm saying? That's cool.
Right.
I wasn't thinking about that when I was. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't thinking about being no trucker when I graduated. Right. You know what I'm saying? Which is. I mean, I wish I had my CDLs now, but you know what I'm saying? Like, back then, I'm like, man, I ain't trying to be no trucker.
Definitely different job opportunities, you know.
One thing I will say though, not to interrupt, is like they're just more. There are more opportunities out here in general from where we're from.
Right, because
specifically matter. You know what I'm saying? Because you can go to Atlanta and you might be able to go to Savannah and do some different shit. Out here, you got food. You got the food truck culture. You can save a little cash. You can start your little taco truck, your food truck. You know what I'm saying? You can fuck around and get into the film industry out here if you know the right person. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
My first job in the film industry was a PA, but I'm making $750 a week, production assistant. You know what I'm saying? You get that check hit every week. You know what I'm saying? And like just different stuff, man. I'm like, you can. I mean, if you got the right mindset, you can hustle and make more money out here than you can make back home. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta know what you're doing.
And speaking of that, like. Let's kind of touch on that real quick. As far as like the regulations, do you feel like the regulations are a little, like say it's a little more
lenient?
Yeah, there you go, lenient. You know what I'm saying? Out here compared to, where we from. You know.
Yes and no, because I mean, you know, if you hustling back where we from, everybody know you hustling.
Yeah.
Out here, you discreet. You know what I'm saying? Like. Everything's so spread out, and you just move. You move how you move, and nobody really. You keep it low key. You know
let's talk about even the culture though, like as far as like the laws on it, more or less. It's not per se recreational, but they do have it available for like medical use. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I haven't been back home to live in a while, but I mean, when I was there, when I visited a couple times, man, you get caught with a joint, you going to jail.
Okay.
You creep that shit up there and ride on out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to jail for weed out there like that. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, it's decriminalized out here. They can't put you in jail for anything under an ounce or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
And I was just gonna say, I had a homie, bro. We gonna get him on here too, but he said he got stopped with about like a like a quarter on. Police made him dump it on the ground, stumped on it, and let him go about his way. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, man, it's definitely, in that regard, yeah, it's a lot less lenient out. Man, you get pulled over and caught smell weed in Georgia. What you smoking on, boy? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You already know how it go. You going to jail, fool.
Have you had, like, many run-ins with police here? And if so, like how has your experience been with that? You know,
Man, honestly, I got harassed by the police out here a couple weeks ago. Well, about a month ago. It's upsetting, you know what I'm saying? Be real with you, because I didn't experience that in Georgia. Like,
okay,
my experiences with police in Georgia was always cool.
okay,
Especially in Meta, because I'm like, you know, in Meta, we, like, man, my grandma know you, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know my mama. Like, I went to school together. Yeah, man, like, so, I guess I'll tell the story. It's like, shit, man, I hit Central in Wyoming, and the car get behind me. And it's like 2 cars back, but I'm like, the other car kind of dipped out, and then they behind me, so I'm like, damn, they following me. I hit Central Louisiana, and they with me. Whoop, whoop. You know what I'm saying? And I'm getting ready for the normal shit, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what's going on today, so I'm like, shit, alright, well, roll down my windows, you know what I'm saying? Turn down the music, cut off the ignition, put my hands on the steering wheel, you know what I'm saying? And I'm license, registration, insurance, all my shit good, I ain't got no drugs, I'm straight, you know what I'm saying? At first I ain't really worried, you know what I'm saying? Let them come to the car, they never come to the car. You know, on the loudspeaker, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, driver, take your keys and drop them out the window on the street. I'm like, damn, alright, it's a little different.
right?
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, alright, bet, fuck it, so I do that. And like, take your hands, put them outside the window and open your door. So I take them out, open the door, you know what I'm saying, and step out. And they made me put my hands behind my head and like, take your shirt, pull it up, turn around in a circle. So I'm like, it's late at night, you know what I'm saying? So I know they looking at me and they like, I got on my Jordans, I got on my sweats, I got on the hoodie. They probably think I'm, you know what I'm saying?
I got you.
It's sad we gotta think about shit like that, right? But it's like, damn, man, they probably profiled me like a motherfucker, you know what I'm saying?
But no, especially in these times and with things that's been happening, you know, it's almost like is they taking precaution or, you know, they're doing a little too much.
They doing too much, man. They ain't even came to the car. I don't know what the fuck going on at this point. I don't know what the hell happening. So I'm like, all right, bet. So I pull around, man. I'm turning around in a circle, man. There's a cop like 5 feet away from me, dog, with an AR pointed right at my motherfucking head. Hand on the finger on the trigger, you know what I'm saying? Ready to go. If I make one false move, man, I'm dead. At this point, I'm real scared. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, so I turn around and like walk backwards towards the sound of my voice. I get back, you know what I'm saying? I get back to the car. They throw cuffs on me right away. Like, at this point, I'm like, man, what the fuck going on? Y'all ain't tell me nothing I did. Like, I know I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I ain't out here tripping like that. Like, why y'all putting me in cuffs right away? We'll tell you in a second. We'll tell you in a second. Y'all need to tell me, but I'm still like, I'm looking around, man. They got like 6 cops. You know what I'm saying? It's just me. And it's Central on 4:30 in the morning. And a crackhead in sight. You know what I'm saying? Nobody recorded. Like, you know how it is when there's so many police in the street. People see the police and they start turning off. You know what I'm saying? Like, so nobody recording them, nothing. I'm like, man, they kill me out here. And I tell them, like, man, I'm scared. You know what I'm saying? So they take me back. They try to throw me in the car right away. I was like, nah, I ain't getting in the car. Nah, you ain't throw me in the car, man. You ain't tell me nothing I did wrong, I ain't getting in the car. I almost felt like if I would have gotten back in the car, they would at least took me to jail. And I'm like, man, I'll sit right here on this curb. Y'all sit me on the curb, man, till y'all do what y'all got to do. Fuck having this conversation. They looking at my car. Like, my car ain't got no tent, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? They like, if there's anybody else in the car, announce yourself. And another 2 cops had walked up with they guns, pointed at the car. I'm like, you can see if somebody else was in there. Ain't nobody else in the car. You know what I'm saying? So I guess they went through my car. They searched it, ain't find nothing. You know what I'm saying? And then they came to me and they were like, we pulled you over because you fit the description of a car, a black 4-door sedan riding around was pointing gun at people. So I'm like, so y'all pulling over every 4-door black car? I was on my way home. You know what I'm saying? Did you find a gun? I ain't got no gun on me. They trying to trip me up on my stuff. I'm like, man, I took my friend home and I was coming back home. I stay up downtown. I dropped her off on Lomas in Wyoming. I hit Central and I was going straight home. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, well, they asked me another question. I can't quite remember what they said, but it was like, you know how cops try to like mix you up and trip you up on certain shit like that. I'm like, nah, man. Like, look, this is what it was. And then like the detective, whoever the head cop there, she left, she walked away, and then one of the cops was like, I think he knew by the way I was carrying myself. He's like, man, you like real polite and shit. Like, where you from? I mean, I'm from Georgia. You know what I'm saying? He was like, yeah, man, I want to get out of here. I'm like, you want to get out of here? He's like, all right, you know what I'm saying? He was like, he asked me something. I was like, he like, man, like I said, he like, you real nice, man. I appreciate it. I'm like, man, I ain't trying to be the next nigga. Just like that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he just like, I could tell when I said it, it caught him off guard, you know what I'm saying? And he couldn't do nothing. He couldn't deny it or nothing. He didn't say that. He just like, I feel where you coming from. You know what I'm saying?
Almost as if he knew there was like stereotyping.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That type of shit back. Like, yeah, we'll, I think we got the wrong person. We're going to let you go straight home, whatever. And then the last thing, the little bitch told me, bro, she was like, hey, thank you for being cool. It was like, you know what I'm saying? What if I wasn't?
Right.
And I had every right not to be.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they would have killed me, bro. They would have killed the nigga out there. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, it's like, that shit a lot of people don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people don't understand that shit, dog. Like, George Floyd. You know what I'm saying? Like, real talk. Like, I was out having fun, man. I had a chick over, you know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah. I did my thing. I took her home. I wasn't drunk. I wasn't breaking no laws. But if I make a wrong move or if I don't comply because I'm being harassed, I die. How many white people go through that shit?
I got you. So it's like one of those things you never know unless, you know, you're in that position, you know.
Absolutely. And I'm not saying white people don't go through that or like Hispanics go through that shit out here. They go through the same shit sometimes. But it's like, man, like until you actually live that shit and you like have to feel it, you don't understand.
So beyond like dealings with the police, like in just your day to day, have you ever felt like you've experienced any racism?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, my girlfriend was Mexican and her grandparents were racist. You know what I'm saying? Like they ain't mess with black people.
Were they kind of one of those type of grandparents that's like they prefer to stick to their own kind?
Yeah, I think so. But I'm like, they white people in the family. She told my grandma lady how much she want me to meet her. You know what I'm saying? And we had this birthday party for her nephew. And it's the first time I met her. You know what I'm saying? She like Jenny like super, super excited for me to meet her. You know what I'm saying? So like we see her, she like, hey grandma, this is my boyfriend Chad. You know what I'm saying? And she look at me, she just back up and like put her hands up and just back away. You know what I'm saying? And then Jenny was just like yeah, you know what I'm saying? On holidays where, like, a Mexican tradition is for them to go to their grandparents' house. That's how it is a lot of times, you know what I'm saying? Not saying that's how it is with every family, but the majority of them.
You said she basically just asked you if you felt comfortable, like, going over to her grandparents' house. So.
Yeah, because she told me straight up that normally he didn't like black people, and her grandma, and, like, because different sides, but his wife, you know what I'm saying, she was cool. He shook my hand, but you could tell it was just like no conversation. It was just like, alright. But they figured out that I was running a food truck at the time. You know what I'm saying? So, you can cook and you run a business. And then I've been cooked for a couple of the parties and this and that. And he's like, hey, I'm taking a liking to me. You know what I'm saying?
So at first it's almost like they had a certain stigma towards black people.
Yeah, they had to fill me out, so to speak. But
yeah,
me thinking like, dang, what if I was just trying to find my way?
Right.
What if I'm just, you know what I'm saying? I'm a regular guy, but I got ambitions, but they ain't came to fruition yet.
Right.
Will you still fuck with me? Like, I'm well spoken and all that shit, so I can talk myself through a situation. But it's like, if I didn't have that ability, you wouldn't fuck with me. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you this: as far as like dealing with women of other culture, the fact that they are dealing with a black man, does it feel like they're almost like being rebellious to their culture by dating outside of their race?
Not in my case.
Okay.
Not in my case. First of all, like I'll never talk shit about my ex. My ex is a boss ass motherfucker. She's always been an ally. She's always been aware of the struggles. It was a shock to her because it happened in her family, but she was always very careful with how she approached it, and I appreciated it. You know what I'm saying? And she fucked with me because she loved me, and not because it was hot or because it was a thing to do. She rocked with me because she just rocked with me as a person.
I got you.
Now, other situations might not be the same, but that's just my experience.
Other situations may have just been a phase for that.
You know, a phase, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I just want some black meat. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I've been a part of that too. You know what I'm saying? But not in that case. No.
Let's kind of take a, because you mentioned, you know, running the food truck. And as far as having, you know, enchiladas and burritos, so would you say there's, did you miss out on some of the food culture that you're used to being here? Or were you able to get that food culture that you're used to being here? Or, you know, was that two completely different paradigms?
I feel like we got lucky because Keith's mama still out here and grandma out here. Daddy out here, you know what I'm saying? Like, so holidays, we still get what we used to. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got cool with different cultures. Like, yeah, man, we go get some enchiladas. I feel like we got the best of both worlds. Especially when we learn how to cook ourselves. Like, man, I can whip up in it. I can smoke anything with legs on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it don't matter. So it's like, I feel like we got the best of both worlds with this culture. Because I love New Mexican food. I love enchiladas. I love the tamales. Anything that, you know what I'm saying, they make, man, is good too. Can't go wrong with a taco. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real.
So when was the first time that you heard of green chili?
I was in the homie. I mean, Keith used to mention it, but you know what it is. But I'm at the homeboy Gucci crib. Now we call him Gucci, but he the Mexican homie. He the plug at the time. You know what I'm saying? And he got his own lady. Like, I want some enchiladas. Shit, I'll eat whatever you cook, me. You high, you know what I'm saying? Like, the nigga first time really hitting that good weed, you know what I'm saying? We smoking that perk, you know what I'm saying? That gas, we eat the enchiladas and they busting. Good, I'm telling you. And they, you know, they go down just a little kick, you know what I'm saying? But they ain't too spicy going down, but man, me and Keith woke up the next morning, man, we fighting for the back. And that boy with the still man, the eyes, man. You know, we were like, well, we gonna eat here, but that shit came out, but it was like fucking lava.
Clean
boy,
out.
Yeah, for real, boy, cleanser. But now I'm used to it, man. Now that shit don't even faze me, you know what I'm saying?
But if you want, like I said, you still got access to, you know, your home cooking and
yeah,
you know, the things that
at this point, we can cook it ourselves.
Gotcha.
And it tastes, I mean, I get to the point where it tastes damn good. I ain't gonna say it's as good, but it's damn good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I whip up some greens, mac and cheese, cornbread, all that shit. I can do it myself, ladies. You know what I'm saying? I'm like running a food truck, you know, and you get confirmation of how good your food can be. When you put in the time and effort that it deserves, you know, and like, I mean, if you go on Bottoms Up Barbecue page right now on Facebook, we still got 4.9 stars. Only dude that gave us 4 stars he was mad because he didn't get enough food. He was like 7 feet, man. I'm like, I ain't got no shack size buzz, brother. Like, dang, man, I would have tried to hook you up if you gave me the 5, but whatever. But yeah, you 4.9 stars, man. You know what I'm saying? So put a lot of time, effort, you know what I'm saying, into that, and it was an experience for sure. Learning experience a lot. Cause I was the person that was running this shit. Yeah. Keith was the backing, the idea, the force that allowed us to open. I was the person that kept us open. Yeah. And running the employees, making schedules, making sure people get paid, dealing with, you know, like, people's attitudes and, you know, employees not getting along with each other and all this stuff, man. When you learn to be a leader and learn how to really maneuver around a crowd full of people when they're looking to you to be the energy that leads the entire team. Yeah. And if you get frustrated, they get frustrated. If you give up, they're going to give up. Yeah. So if you tired and you can't really go, you gonna have to find a way to make sure that you're not showing that. Because that's the energy that you're going to give off to your team.
Yeah.
It's like sports, you know what I'm saying? If I'm the leader of this team and I don't show the right attitude, nobody else going to listen to the coach.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're going to have to do what you got to do, make sure we got what we got.
Right.
And I think I did a good job with that. I could have did better, but I think for me being placed in a situation where I had no idea of what I was doing,
yeah,
I think I did all right.
Well, I think it's on the learning curve too, and I guess my biggest question is like how was that experience as going into entrepreneurship, especially being in a different environment where it's not so much black is the majority, and black is kind of the minority. So as a black man and knowing there's not so many of us out here, going into entrepreneurship, well, I guess what was your biggest challenge? You would say,
Honestly, it's like good music. Good food is universal, man.
Okay.
Just like if your food good out here, people are almost gonna rock with you more if you're black because it makes them feel cool, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? But it's also I'm a part of his growth as a person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They know if you new. They can tell. I'm like, but if you take the time to talk to them and get to know them and treat people with respect and good customer service, then they're like, man, he know what he's doing. And he got a good product. I'm going to rock with him every time he come here. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
And I think that's the key. If you can show that you have a good quality product consistently, good service consistently, then everything else just come with itself.
And so at the end of the day, I guess to being a black man, that wasn't necessarily a barrier as far as to you moving forward into business. Okay,
I didn't see it.
That's good. That's good. That says a lot.
Yeah.
That says a lot. How would you say the black culture is here in New Mexico? Do you feel like there's a presence of black culture here? Or what would you have to say on that?
That's a tough question. Because I see my black culture every time. Because we kick it and Keith and we get to see his parents. But it's also if we're talking about it as a whole, it's lacking for sure.
Okay.
It's lacking in certain areas. There are certain things where people try, and there are black people out here that are very successful, but as a community, it's like a lot of other places in the world, it needs some work. Honestly, the only thing I see bringing black people consistently together out here is the Bruno party. You know what I'm saying? For real. Shout out to Bruno promoter, man. That's the whole. Shout out to Trev too. You know what I'm saying? The whole crew, they solid, man. I fuck with them. But yeah, that's the only place I feel like it's guaranteed where you're gonna see the black people that matter.
A bulk of.
Yeah, I can definitely give that to him. This year, with all the shit that's going on in the world, I've seen more of a push towards us coming together. More rallies, more events, more stuff like that. But it's still, once that initial high wears off or the initial shock of something happening wears off, it goes back to us being the same. If we really want to accomplish things out here, I think that's one of the things we probably need to change. We need to be more consistent.
One thing that I did kind of have a question about, do you think that you'll be doing the same thing that you're doing if you wasn't here in New Mexico?
Nah. I just don't think. That's tough to say, but
yeah.
If we're saying if I'm not here and I'm back home, then nah. Okay. If I'm not here, I feel like I'm doing what I was doing when I left, and I'm probably doing the same thing that the homies was doing, and I might end up in jail. I might end up being that guy for a while. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like I wouldn't be in the film industry.
Okay.
I probably wouldn't have had a food truck.
I gotcha.
Probably wouldn't have went to college. I feel like coming out here was the best decision I could have ever made.
Definitely have its benefits.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gotcha.
For sure.
Gotcha. That's good. All right, so just kind of pretty much to wrap it up. If anybody wanted to like access you, or you know what I'm saying? Where can people find you? Social media, you know.
Instagram, I am Morreal. IAMMOREAL. A little play on my middle name, Morrell. You know what I'm saying? But I'm Morreal. And then that's pretty much all I'm on right now. Snapchat, Scotty Dripping or Polo Jordan 2020, all that stuff. Got some things in the works, you know, little music coming out here and there, entertainment coming out here and there, podcasts, things of that nature. So just keep your eye out for sure.
Okay. And one last thing, if you had to say anything to another brother, a young brother coming out here, you know what I mean? What would you have to say about the overall experience, or do you have any advice that you would give the next man?
I mean, the advice I would give anybody is, especially out here, is don't be afraid to be yourself. I think a lot of times people get caught up in this culture. They got to be this way or that way or whatever, and they end up neglecting the stuff that they really like or the stuff that they're good at because they feel like it ain't cool enough or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I would say do what you like, do it to the best of your abilities, and make sure you put your all into whatever your dream is, because you never know when that shit may pop.
Gotcha. Word. Well, hey, like I said, I think we're going to close it right there, man. We do appreciate you for stepping out and sitting down with us, chopping it up, giving us your experience here as a black man in New Mexico. And again, shout out to those for watching. You know, we thank you for watching the content of Black Men in New Mexico. Again, this is the first episode kicking off. Don't take it from me. Again, you heard it right here from Chad D himself. But we're going to sign out, and until next time, we'll holler back.
Yeah.